It's Latvia in black with the serve. It's the Netherlands in white receiving. This the first semi-final from the FIVB 4-star event here at Huntington Beach. And the first point goes the way of the Netherlands. Excellent swing from Meeuwsen to put that one down. I'm delighted to be joined in the commentary box by Richard Lambourne, Olympic gold medalist from 2008 in Beijing. This should be an absolute cracker, shouldn't it?
It should be. I'm not sure my mind. There we go. Yeah, the Latvian team, undersized compared to their foes from the Netherlands. However, very, very capable in the ball control department.
So I've been trying to talk to you guys, but I wasn't getting any response. Yeah, I was, but I think you guys must.
Can you hear me on talk then?
So Brouwer Meeuwsen leading 2-1 at the moment. Not the best of serves from Brouwer. Always difficult when you're the server. You want to serve tough enough, especially if you're the guy coming into block so that the other team can't go over on two. Unfortunately, on that occasion, Latvia not having to work for that point. Another chance for the Netherlands. And this time a big swing from Meeuwsen to put the ball away.
That's a little glimpse into why he doesn't get served a lot right there, Fred.
Smedins making out as if he was going to go over and have a swing. And he gives it to Samoilovs to put it away instead.
The Latvian side will employ a bit more trickery. Get a nice look at the fake jump set there.
Unforced error, but a net touch by Samoilovs, and the Netherlands will take the point.
To the Netherlands, it's 4-3 for Brouwer and Meeuwsen.
The ball going long, but unfortunately for Latvia, Samoilovs was in the net.
Doesn't it always seem to be the case that on the net fault it's either dug in the backcourt or hit out?
Frustration for Latvia as a result. That was an opportunity wasted. Meeuwsen now with the serve for the Netherlands.
Score check, Brave. We got 4-4, correct?
He's not had the best of starts from the serving line at the moment, has Meeuwsen.
Smedins to serve.
All of which means we're level at 4 apiece. Smedins with the serve. It's definitely a slow start from Meeuwsen. That's his second unforced error. Got away with the first one because there was a net fault. He's not helped this time by Latvia, and it's Latvia who have the lead.
Smedins doing a nice job putting them under pressure from the service line.
Oh, it's a great block.
Alexander Samoilovs.
Clayton, we're 100+ feet away from the court, and we could clearly hear the Lion King roaring after that block.
Not surprisingly, it was an excellent block. He's jumped right into the hitting zone. And now, Latvia with a 2-point lead. Good lead that time from Brouwer.
As we saw in the previous women's semifinal match, no lead is safe on the World Tour. So early here in set one.
And that's why Meeuwsen is so effective at the net. He's one of the few blockers on the World Tour who can block like an indoor player. Doesn't have to wait. He can go up and get across early and close down the space.
for Meeuwsen.
Another big stuff there from Meeuwsen, diving to the line again. Stopping the Lion Kings attempt. The Netherlands takes a lead here, 7-6. Nice little shot in the cross court this time from Samoilovs for the kill. Kind of jumped, hung, took a look around, and slapped it to the cross court.
A battle that comes up a couple
Two sides
of
switch level at 7.
Smedins, twice a best hitter on the World Tour.
As Clayton mentioned, a bit of a slow start from the Netherlands, but they've recovered nicely here to level this match. What a play from both sides there. Great dig from Smedins. But Alex Brouwer on his attempt in the cross court and gets the put away. Point number 8 goes to the Netherlands.
Well, that's a nice put away. There's a suspicion that the serve may have been going wide, but no call coming, and Smedins did the right thing in playing it, as he was not going to wait for a call. And a nice ball on to Samoilovs and side out for Latvia. Line blocks being signalled by Samoilovs. They're not even going to have to worry about that great serving again from Smedins. It's a ball that's going right in between the two passers, making it really difficult as to who's going to take it.
He's got that direct middle dialed in so far early in this match. But
nice little change up. And it's another big point for Latvia. Excellent blocking from Samoilovs. Good work from Smedins. He looked again like he was going to go to the middle, just let his arm go to the line. Puts the Netherlands under pressure from serve once more. Nice pass this time. Oh, what a big hit from Meeuwsen. And Latvia showing they're not afraid to go after him.
gotten a couple early errors out of him. You see Robbie put the ball down the line here. It'll be interesting to see if they stay on him if he gets going.
Nice early call and a good leave from Latvia.
Impressive that we can hear the communication all the way up here in our TV tower. The Latvians, two of the most technically sound players you're going to come across, I think.
Well, let's take our technical timeout.
So into the technical timeout, and nothing much to separate the teams at the moment. Latvia just with a 1-point advantage.
This is our team
Communication really is key, isn't it, on the beach? Even though there's only the two of you, it's still something where if you're not communicating and not communicating well, it can be costly.
You got so much ground to cover and only the two of you out there. So any hesitation is going to lead to a loss of a point, basically. So communication is really critical, as you mentioned.
But some of that communication, I guess, as well, is if you're giving an option to a player. So line or cross-court isn't, I want you to go line or cross-court. It's saying that that's open for you, and then you have to make a decision about perhaps what you're going to do.
Correct. Correct. And teams kind of work out their situations amongst each other. Sometimes if the other team is dialed into you, you give the fake call. There's a lot of cat and mouse going on out there, especially at the highest of levels.
Meeuwsen with the ball for the Netherlands. Big swing with that one just missing on the baseline. Not much Latvia would have been able to do about that, other than accept the fact it would have been an ace had it caught that baseline. That was very close, but a good leave in the end.
See if Giannis goes back to that middle ball here.
A delicate play that time from Meeuwsen. Smedins really going with some power this time. Big 1-foot Yahoo, that little cross quarter. Samoilovs getting a little bit carried away with that one. Big hit, but not finding the court. And that levels things up in this first set.
That may have actually been Smedins around to the left side. I think we would refer to this match early on as a slugfest. Not a ton of soft shots. We're seeing some power from the end line, power from the net.
It's definitely toe-to-toe stuff, and that's an unforced error this time from Smedins.
Very uncharacteristic of Giannis to make back-to-back hitting errors like that.
The block, that's
the block was up, but didn't get across far enough to send the ball down quickly enough. And it goes block out in favor of Latvia.
See a little bit of frustration from Giannis there.
Off the block, that's Tool for Giannis.
Just missed it on the replay, but he slaps his leg in frustration of making those two previous hitting errors.
We talked about cat and mouse earlier on, and it's very much a case of that as a defender behind your blocker, isn't it? And then looking what the attacker's going to do. Do you hold your position? Do you move early? Trying to figure out the best way to read what's happening in front of you without guessing.
Right, one of the concepts we talk about a lot is creating hesitation in an opponent. How do you do that? With juking, with trying to hide behind your blocker, making late moves. All those things contribute to causing a little bit of hesitation in the offensive player on the other side.
We've seen on a few occasions where the defender just stays in the cross or stays in the line, gets the look from the attacker, and then doesn't move, and the attacker rolls it straight to where they are. Almost a double bluff at times. It's fascinating to watch. Carry called, and no arguments at all from Meeuwsen.
Let's see if we can see Robbie's thumb getting stuck in this one right here. A little bit of a transfer from one hand to the other there, it looked like.
Another hard hit. Brouwer used to being the player that receives most of the serves from the opposition. He's done a lot of work this week in getting his team to this semi-final, having lost their second round game and then having to work through the losers bracket. A slight difference on this World Tour event to what we usually see. No pool play here. It's been double elimination set up. And so for Latvia, they've played far fewer games than the Netherlands. Certainly the fresher of the two, and they have only, though, at this moment, a 1-point lead. Samoilovs with the serve. Line block signaled by Giannis Smedins.
Right through the uprights there. Maybe the wickets in your parlance.
Absolutely taking the middle wicket out. That one certainly was. Good touch. Another chance for Latvia. And a quicker ball out wide, and really good work from Samoilovs. Didn't have a lot of room to work with, but gets it past the block. And Latvia take the point.
Such a nice play to get some spacing there by the Latvian side, making the big blocker from the Netherlands move.
Fabulous ace serve from Smedins. He's been going to the middle, He's toyed with the line a couple of times, but that was an absolute rocket. Pinpoint precision onto the sideline. Nothing at all the Netherlands could do about this one.
And if you Google smooth arm swing, you're going to find some clips of Giannis Smedins. The guy's as smooth as it comes out there on the sand.
He does make it look very easy, doesn't he?
Annoyingly easy, I think.
So timeout called by the Netherlands. They suddenly find themselves 2 behind, and this is how the teams compare currently. Not much between them at all in terms of world ranking, just a couple in the seedings, but by far Latvia had the better tournament, having played far fewer games than the Netherlands.
Yeah, those world rankings and tournament seedings, if you've got your math degree from MIT, maybe you can send us a message and tell us how that all shakes out. I'm confused every time I show up to one of these tournaments how those things work.
One thing's for sure, though, the top 10, there's very few, very little to separate them.
I was going to say the bottom line is both these teams are really good. Doesn't matter what number is next to their name.
We look at the physicality of these two teams. There's, other than the obvious height difference that the Netherlands have, for most teams there's very little to choose between them. And would you say that the things that can generally separate perhaps particularly these two teams in this match is what will happen with their mental preparation and how they are mentally prepared for this game?
I would agree with you there. And then it's a little bit of a roll of the dice on kind of who's on that day from a physical standpoint as well. And certainly we're seeing Giannis on his game early from the service line especially.
Great dig. Oh, what a put away. Brilliant play from Latvia, and it brings them set point.
As we look at this again, let's just look how calm Giannis is. Oh, there it is. Smooth as can be.
Well, the hard work brings them the reward of a set point opportunity. Meeuwsen to keep the Netherlands in the first set, and he's done that. No, he hasn't. The referee says it's out. Well, the line judge says it was out. The referee says in. It did look like it was in. Just a quick look from Latvia. They're not going to argue it. They've got 4 side-out opportunities to take this set. I think perhaps it would have been a little bit closer. They might have had something to say about it.
Your desire to argue lessens the bigger your lead is, right?
Now this time, though, they're given the point. An unforced error, and it's Latvia take the first set. 21-17, they lead 1-0.
A solid performance from Latvia in that first set. They really stretched the lead late on the back of some strong serving from Giannis.
It was great to see as well, they weren't afraid to go after Robert Meeuwsen. And sometimes that can, as we've seen, work in your favour. A player that's not had that much to do because nobody really goes after him. And then you can catch these players by surprise at times.
That's kind of a Brazilian tactic, we call it here, where you serve one player within the confines of a match even. You serve one player, and then right at the end, you catch the player off guard that's been taking the match off, for lack of a better way to say it.
Well, this is how the first set panned out. 2 blocks each, but 2 aces from Giannis Smedins, which set the tone. And despite the fact they had 4 hitting errors, the aces really helped them out. But service errors from the Netherlands, very costly. 5 errors just to 1 for Latvia.
Especially against a tough serving team like the Netherlands, it's always nice to get free points like that.
The players getting some much needed rest in the shade, taking on some fluid, just having a little chat. Well, it's a fantastic part of the world to be playing beach volleyball, and I guess if you're not going to be watching the beach, then that's the next best thing to be doing. How's your surfing?
My surfing is terrible. Thank you for asking. I can body surf a little bit, but if you put a board underneath me, it's anybody's guess if I'm even going to be able to stand up. More than likely, I'm going to hurt myself.
Second set underway. It's Latvia with the serve. 1 set to the good in this best of 3 set match. Oh, that's a great start. And Samoilovs jumps right into the hitting zone to deny the Netherlands.
A little more of that cat and mouse game that we've been talking about. You watch Samoilovs really almost get his hind end to the sand, stay out of the line of sight of Robbie Meeuwsen in this instance, and just dive into the line and block that ball.
That's a good leave in here from Meeuwsen. Not sure he would have got there had it caught the sideline. Smedins really is making it difficult for the Netherlands to know exactly where that ball's going until it's left his hand. Great dig. And the joust at the net won by the Netherlands. Smedins then can't keep it in play. Oh, what a start to this second set. 2 great points.
Phenomenal dig from Alexander Brouwer in the backcourt there. I mean, that was all Giannis could give him in the cross court.
Big swing. It's incredible to think that the net's 2 meters from 43. That's about 8 foot. It's the same height as the crossbar in soccer and football. And these guys are getting head and shoulders above it from the sand. Just phenomenal.
Giannis is only about 190, 192-ish. 6'3", for those of you not on the metric system.
Alexander Brouwer.
Another big swing from Brouwer.
Nice dive to the line for the block there from Robbie Meeuwsen. His team a 2-point advantage.
That's an excellent block.
He really does a nice job of diving late to that line, doesn't he?
And it's great to have a blocker who can get up and get across the net and close the space down. Nice cut away from the body, just getting that one away as well from Smedins by Brouwer.
I really like how Alex kept his arm high there too. We'll see it here. Hits the scoop, but doesn't let his elbow drop, so he can create this trajectory on this swing here.
Meeuwsen was shaping up to go on the cross court, and then he's gone back to the line, but just kind of leant away from that a little bit, and height became an issue for him. It's an incredible thing at 2 meters and 7 that he's going to miss the ball into the net. Nice work, Samoilovs shutting down the line.
Nice bit of handwork there from the Lion King, as we see it here. He kind of starts wide with the hands and closes them off right at the last second. Shuts down that line on Alex Brouwer.
Nice little shooter down the line. You see the pass taking the ball to the right side, and the set was kept in front, taking it even further to the right side as opposed to setting behind. Any preference in terms of as an attacking team, do you want to be hitting the ball from one side, left or right, or through the middle? Or would you like to vary it up?
I think you want a mixture. Certainly, you don't want to let the defense get comfortable and get set up early on you. So a good mixture is probably a good way to go. You have to do a little bit what the pass allows you to do, probably, which is kind of the point of the serving team, right? Is to force you into what they want you to do.
Well, set up for the cross and hit it cross, no change with that one.
That's the standard Alex Brouwer shot, and he can do that time and time again with great efficiency.
Really forcing then either the blocker or the defender to get opposite that power line, which then opens him up with options to roll it away from where they're defending.
Very Alisson-esque, right? A lot of hard cross-court swing.
Yeah, Alisson for Brazil, a great exponent of that. Did suffer when he first came onto the tour with being dropped short and then trying to hit hard with not much of a run-up, but soon improved that part of his game, and hence becoming an Olympic gold medalist.
Helps when your nickname's the Mammoth. Size, not an issue for you.
Unforced error from Meeuwsen. Still yet to find his range when he's tried to go over the top of the block.
So to your earlier question about sideline or middle, he gets a little indecisive there, I feel like, out of the middle. His angles are cut off a little bit, tries to go straight up the gut, and ends up a little bit long there.
I guess the main thing is when you're playing on the beach is that as a partnership, when you pass and you set, you don't want to be military marching it up to the net. You want to keep a smaller distance between the two of you, so the ball's pretty much going forwards, sideways, a little bit for the spike, as opposed to be going from one side of the court back to the other.
Especially in kind of windy conditions, I would agree with you there. We're seeing the game progress a little bit to almost the opposite of that, where teams are trying to push the distances. You got your Cantor Losiaks that are running tempo sets and shoots, and we've already seen some pretty quick tempo balls from the Latvians going all the way out to the pin. That requires incredible precision and a high technical level in order to do that. Lots of training.
Certainly a real feature of Poland's game is that ability to spread that ball quickly wide and catch the block out. Good swing from Smedins as he goes cross court. A much better second set though as far as the Netherlands are concerned here. They've not let Latvia get runs of points.
Giannis does a great job with his feet after the dig to get some depth, keep that ball in front of him so he's got some range on the attack. Just a little bit off today, isn't he, so far?
Well, Meeuwsen had a look. He knew that Smedins was in the cross, in that position, and run away from it, and then he's just overcooked it, hasn't he, to that sideline. Uncharacteristic mistakes from Meeuwsen. He has had a long, hard week of volleyball here. Just wonder whether it's catching up with him a little bit. Netherlands 2 behind, and also 1 set down.
We were talking a little bit about technical proficiency as it pertains to setting and ball control, things like that. And if you're wondering, how do I get that level of technical proficiency? In China, we were talking with Samoilovs a little bit, and he said his father, who was his coach growing up, would demand 100 sprints if balls ever touched the ground without anybody touching him, and or take off his slipper and whack him in the back of the head. So there are different ways that you can extract technical proficiency from your players.
Yeah, that's I think. Yeah. Some kind of think about the punishment element. If you make a mistake, you're going to get punished. Is certainly one way, as opposed to, well, if I punish you for doing that, all right, is it going to make you better? But how is that then? You're afraid of making that mistake because you know the punishment's coming. But I guess it's whatever works for different teams, and certainly different cultures as well in how that they prepare and play volleyball. Certainly Eastern European and Russian volleyball very much a punishment kind of culture, and also in China to a degree.
Yeah, and I'm sure there's a decent level of tongue-in-cheek with which that was shared. One would hope, anyways.
Absolutely. Yeah. You could argue he became very good at sprinting.
They've got the legs to prove it.
Yeah. And for those of you at home, and you're looking at technically proficient players and how you want to get good, there's a friend of mine, a coach, who's always said it's great. Meeuwsen's a great player, but he's 2.7 meters. There's very few players who are 2.7 meters. Perhaps not the player you want to be watching to get better. But looking at Yanis, looking at Samoilovs, looking at Bruno Oscar Schmidt, those players who are regular guys but superb athletes.
Right.
You have a look at this play again. And a really good example of that. Smedins making the dig. And what skill from Samoilovs with a flipper, really, back of the hand to get that one over. But it was the Netherlands who take the point. So a big swing from Samoilovs. We go into the technical timeout, and it's Latvia who lead by 1. When you look at the players now that are on the tour, for you, who are the players that you think, wow, just awesome?
Well, I've said ever since I've come out here that Yanis Smedins is my favorite player, just because he's kind of medium-sized anymore for the World Tour by World Tour standards. And we've been talking kind of incessantly about the technical proficiency. The guy's just so smooth. It looks so easy. So I love watching him play. Man, there's so many good players. You mentioned Bruno Oscar Schmidt. That guy is shorter than I am by a couple inches and is almost more comfortable from 8-9 feet off the net, which is mind-blowing to me. I love the guys like Guto who are flying around. I have the opportunity to coach a guy who's very similar to that, Taylor Crabb, who is just a delight to watch on a day in and day out basis. And then you have such a wide variety of guys, it's hard to pick just one, right? But all 4 of these guys I love watching play.
Certainly one of the assets for Meeuwsen, given that he's 2.7 meters, he's got all this. He's got the skills of a player who's 6'3", who is Smedins' height, as it were. Whereas you compare that perhaps to a few of the other bigger players that play, who are there for a job. They're there to block. They're there perhaps from the serving line, and if they get caught out, they're not perhaps as proficient in an out-of-system play. Oh, good up.
What a save there from Holland.
Some excellent beach volleyball. It was a really good pickup from Brouwer and a great put away. one thing I do enjoy, and I'm sure those of you that come and watch events like these or get the opportunity to meet these guys, they are so personable, they are so friendly. You can speak to them, you can communicate with them. They're happy to talk to you, they're happy to give you an autograph, they're happy to pose for a photograph with you. It really is a joy and a great ambassadors for the sport.
And I'm constantly impressed by how well everybody speaks the English language.
That one not quite finding the baseline from getting in. Brouwer with the serve. Peachy set, the ball just catching that sideline. So Samoilovs will go back to serve. All square now. Good pickup. Oh, that was clever play from Brouwer. Samoilovs went running into where he Meeuwsen with the serve. Samoilovs to keep Latvia in the set. That's not going to happen. A monster block from Meeuwsen. And the Netherlands take the set. They've levelled the match at 1 apiece. We're heading into a decider.
We're going to play to 15 to go to the goal.
This is where 2 meters and 7 makes it very easy to make a block. Excellent work from Meeuwsen. Captain's on the meet with the referee. We'll toss the coin to see who'll serve, who'll receive in this race to 15 now to see who's going to go through to the final.
Truly spike and sparkling.
That's a great comeback from the Netherlands after a shaky first set. Here's the tail of the match. Wow, and Meeuwsen just 4 blocks, but it's when you make them that's the important thing. He may have only had 1 block, but that last one is what took them to this position now of going into a deciding set.
Here we go. First to 15, Latvia, Netherlands. 2 powerhouses.
Third set underway. Latvia with the serve. This race to 15 to see who is going to go through to the final of this FIVB 4-star event here at Huntington Beach.
Well, reaching for that one. It is just out of reach, and it's 1-0.
Has it caught the line? It has! And Samoilovs makes the block against Brouwer. Latvia open up a 2-point lead in this deciding set. A long, agonizing look for both teams as the ball lands on the sideline. And it becomes joy for Latvia. Trying to force that ball down the middle into the panic channel. Netherlands let off the hook. Jump set from Samoilovs. Don't see that very often on the beach. Trying to put some hesitation in the block, thinking perhaps he was going to have the swing, but it's Smedins who has the swing and puts it away. Big hard hit from Brouwer cross court. Well, did that? Yes, indeed it did. I was going to ask the question, did that stay outside the antenna? It didn't. Now, you can go after the ball, so long as the ball has gone outside of the antenna, you can go after it, you can bring it back, you have to bring it back outside the antenna. The dig from Samoilovs went over the net, inside the antenna, and that's it. You cannot bring it back, you can't go after it. It's the same as if the ball goes under the net, you can't go and dive after it and bring it back from under the net. Unforced error from Smedins. And just like that, it's the Netherlands who move in front. And so Latvia call timeout.
The winner of this match will be the winner of our next match in the gold medal final. Coming out next, Spain, Brazil, Herrera and Gaviria, the veterans. With a ton of Olympic Games between the two of them. Taking off, Andre Loyola, the world champion from the I love these men's semis. We got 3 teams of veterans in Spain and the Netherlands and Latvia. We've got a team from Brazil that at times looks unstoppable. And right now, we have got a thriller in the third. Ladies and gentlemen, love to hear it for Latvia and the Netherlands. It is 7-6.
That'll do nicely for Yanis Smedins. He's He's been trying to hit the stitching off the ball for most of the game. That time, though, goes with a delicate roll shot, gets the side out, levels up the scores. Line block signalled. Smedins with some work to do in the cross court. Well, Samoilovs didn't take the line away. And so the Netherlands it is who get the side out and have the lead. It's a good serve. That just attacked Samoilovs high into the shoulders. But again, Yanis Smedins able to put the ball in a position where Samoilovs can do what he wants with it. And it was Samoilovs who's able to put it away with a roll to the line. Good touch. Well, and it's a net touch against Brouwer. Would you believe it? The tomahawk from Smedins in defense, putting that ball up where Samoilovs again could have a swing. Excellent play. Latvia edge in front. This match is seesawing from one team to the other. Right now, it's advantage Latvia. Samoilovs makes the touch, but it's Meeuwsen who does enough to make sure the Netherlands have the side out. Oh, it's a good serve, great serve. Oh dear, but Meeuwsen's put that ball into the net. Unbelievable, what a chance that was for the Netherlands off the back of a brutal serve from Meeuwsen. Got the overpass, and then they had the chance to do something with it. It's an unforced error from Meeuwsen as he puts that into the net. Although actually, if they could have challenged that, I reckon that caught a bit of Samoilov's block. Shoot set out wide, change up from the Netherlands as they try and create some space that Samoilovs was unable to get into a blocking zone as a result. And so Netherlands level it up, 10 apiece, 1 apiece in this race to 15. And it's the Netherlands who take advantage. A little bit of luck for them. The ball clipping the top of the net from service, which put Latvia in a spot of bother they weren't able to get out of. Oh, it's a good get. It's a free ball here. If that stayed inside the antenna, and it didn't, but it didn't even make it into court. What a great serve from Meeuwsen. As the Netherlands now open up a 2-point lead right at the business end of this match. Serve from Meeuwsen.
The Netherlands
incredible.
Out to a 3-point advantage.
This one right down the middle. Into the panic channel. Both teams, both players looking at the ball. Who's going to play it? Not me, not you. It's out. No, it's in. It's an ace. it's trouble for Latvia. Great chase from Brouwer. Oh, would you believe it? Samoilovs makes the dig, but he just pops it up for Meeuwsen to hammer it away. And the Netherlands now have 4 match points. But what a chase from Brouwer. He took his chance, and it's paid off. Did it catch the block? No, it didn't. It's been given out. It's all over. The Netherlands have beaten Latvia by 2 sets to 1. Samoilovs and Smedins, who are undefeated through the winners' bracket, and their first defeat of the tournament in the semi-final. They won't be going to the gold medal match. It's the Netherlands who had to battle through the losers' bracket, who have booked their place in the final. Brouwer and Meeuwsen have beaten Samoilovs and Smedins by 2 sets to 1.